Hello to everyone who's watching us on Punjab, Kesari and Navode Times. I'm joined by Amber Uhler, who represents one of the greatest nations, and she is a proud title winner of Mrs. Universe USA 2025. Hello, Amber. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How's the weather there? I am assuming it's very cold right there, right now.
Actually, no, it's very
No?
warm because,
Oh, okay.
the United States of America is very big and I actually live in Tampa, Florida. So it's about 75 today,
Ah,
uh, and hot and sunny.
I saw your story. So you were freezing in that, so maybe you were in the AC at that time. So I assume that.
Yeah, yes. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So in Florida, it's hot outside, and then when you go into a
yeah,
restaurant, they have the
yeah,
air conditioned really, really cold.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it was actually much warmer outside than it was in the restaurant that I was
Awesome.
freezing in.
Yeah, awesome. Tell me about how did it all start for you, especially when it comes to the pageant journey and representing an area of such glory and history.
Thanks. That's a wonderful question. So you would be surprised that 3.5 years ago, I weighed almost 300 pounds. I was pre-diabetic.
Wow.
I was a size 22 and I went to the doctor for a annual checkup and she said, let's sit down, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
You probably aren't going to see your kids graduate from high school, and they were
Oh,
only, 3 and 4 at the time,
oh.
if you don't get your health in order and lose some weight.
Hmm.
And I was devastated to hear that. That
Hmm.
that really hurt. But it saved my life, and I'm so glad that she did say that to me.
Definitely.
Sometimes you have to hear the hard things, but so I've spent the last 3.5 years on a 160 pound weight loss journey.
Wow.
After I had lost 100 pounds, I still had 60 more pounds that I probably needed to lose before I was like in the healthy range. And so I wanted a goal. I wanted something to work towards. So I needed like light at the end of the tunnel. And that's when I decided to do the Mrs. Florida pageant. It was my first ever pageant. I competed and I won.
You won.
And then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won. Nobody was more surprised than me. In all the
Hmm.
pictures, I'm like, and so then I went on and did the Mrs. Universe USA pageant, and
And
I
you
won.
won. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Wow. And then so now I get to travel next year to the Philippines and represent the USA
Oh,
as
wow.
Mrs. USA at the Mrs. Universe pageant. And wouldn't it be so exciting if
Yeah,
I
we're already manifesting three in a row. You never know.
Oh, that would be incredible. That would be unbelievable. I'm just so beyond proud to be Mrs. Universe USA, to represent the entire United States. It's an awesome responsibility that I take very seriously.
Yeah, yeah. I've been following your stories and they look so wholesome when you're going out there and meeting new people. I think as a pageant winner, you're also meeting a lot of new people. So I wanted to ask you, representation matters a lot. When you are representing as a winner, as a person hailing from that area, what are the key points which you keep in mind that, okay, this has to be there?
I think it's always really important to be approachable, to be friendly. I
Yeah,
can tell people see me and sometimes they want to ask for a picture and I always wave and say, "Hi, how are you?" and
yeah,
and feel like, I am totally happy to put myself first, to, be approachable. But then I think also just being down to earth.
yeah.
I know what it's like to feel invisible. I know what it's like to feel unseen and to feel, like that I fade into the background. So it's really important for me to meet people and see people. I like to do parades a lot.
Hmm.
And in America, the beauty queens, the pageant winners, they always ride in a car and
Hmm.
wave to everyone. And I don't do
Hmm.
that. I always wear high heels. I always dress for the job as a sign of respect. And then I walk the parade route and shake hands with everyone and take pictures with everyone. So I always
Yeah.
start at the beginning of the parade, and then all the cars pass me by. And by the end, I'm the last one through the line. But I like to show people that I'm not above anyone else and that I'm just a person of the people and I'm a representation of them. So it's
Yeah.
always very important for me to, make sure that I'm being thoughtful and mindful and being a good representation of everyone in the United States because we are so diverse.
Yeah, definitely. Very well said. Very well put. Coming back to your weight loss journey, you said that the doctor said all these things to you, and then you took on them. And it takes two to tango. You obviously responded to those advices by the doctor, and you overcame them. But while that was happening, what was that self pep talk which you kept doing to yourself, which motivated you? Because it's very important. If you are not able to believe in yourself, no doctor can help you.
Right. It was hard. It was a decision every single day. And so everyone who's seeing this now is seeing sort of the middle to the end of my story. I've lost the weight, but they, missed out on the hard days. And there were
Hmm.
days when so losing that much weight is dedication every single day. It's tiny incremental changes
Yeah.
over a long period of time. And
Yeah.
so there were days when I would fail. I would eat a dozen Krispy Kremes and say, "Oh no, what have I done? I should just quit. I can't do this," right? And then I always had to reframe it and go back to the positive, like, okay, I fell off the bandwagon today. I ate a bunch of cookies, but I'm not going to do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so having grace with yourself
Yeah.
so that you are able to, if you have a cheat day, accidentally eat too many cookies, but just consistently over time, not doing that every single day, right?
Yeah.
That became less and less and less. And so I just stayed motivated. And then when you're trying to lose weight and you start seeing a little bit of like the pounds going down on the
Yeah.
scale, that was
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
motivational.
Very
When
rewarding.
like
Yeah.
yeah, when I needed to like get a size smaller of clothes because they were all too big, that was also, so I had like a lot of non-scale victories. One thing that I remember was a really big deal is that when I used to fly in the airplanes, I needed a seatbelt extender. And it was
Hmm.
very embarrassing to ask. I would have to
Oh.
go to one of the flight attendants and say, "Excuse me, I need like a seatbelt extender because it won't fit." And so they'd have to give you like an extra one. And when I
Hmm.
didn't need to ask for that anymore, I
Hmm.
was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing so good.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. The worst is behind us, and you are making everyone proud. What will be your go-to tip for someone who is also on a weight loss journey and who is trying to do it, but is not well versed with a lot of contacts in the health industry, or is not well enough or good enough to hire the best doctors?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing for me was portion control.
Hmm.
So I used to like make macaroni and cheese and I would eat the whole thing.
Correct.
And so what I did was I started just forcing myself to do smaller portions, like
Hmm.
6 ounces of macaroni and cheese, which is only like this much. It's not
Hmm.
that much.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
instead of doing like a whole big plate. And then I also started eating on smaller plates. So instead of eating on like a really big plate, I would eat like on a dessert plate. And so it
Hmm.
felt like it was tricking my mind into feeling like, oh, my plate is full, even though like the plate was so much smaller. And so you can do little tips and tricks like that. And then there's also so many free resources on social media. You can
Definitely.
follow people who will give you dietary tips
Hmm.
on YouTube. You can find videos. And
Yeah.
then the other thing that worked for me, and I'm still doing, and I'm gonna keep doing, probably for the rest of my life, is just being more like keto, more like meats and cheeses and vegetables and less cookies and sodas and
Hmm.
all the things that we really love.
Yeah, yeah. Bilkul. Totally, totally. Now, as you're following your pageant journey, and there are many more accomplishments to come your way, whenever you are talking to people, especially the youth, um, there's always, you would always want to, they'll always come to you and ask you things, so many questions, so much curiosity. What is that one value which you live by, that one ethic which Amber lives by, and you want to uh, send it across that they also should follow it?
Yeah, I think the thing that's been most important for me on this pageant journey is being authentically true to myself. And I know we
Hmm.
hear that a lot, And we
Hmm.
say that a lot, but it's
Hmm.
like, what does that mean to you personally? Because being true to myself and being who I am as a person
Yeah.
probably means something different to you. For me, it's being transparent about my weight loss and, like where I've come from. When I go to pageants, I have teams of hair and makeup people and wardrobe stylists and walking coaches and interview coaches and all these people who help me. So it's not me by myself. And
Yeah.
I think giving credit and credence to the people around you who are
Hmm.
helping you be successful.
Yeah.
And if I could say anything to kids, I think who you choose to surround yourself with is so important and going to be such a huge indicator of your future. I always like to
Definitely.
say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So
Ah,
like
lovely.
make sure you have friends who are, on the honor roll, doing good in math class, doing community service, in sports. Friends that are positive influences are going to uplift you. And that's
Definitely.
one thing that has happened for me in pageantry. I have become friends with so many title holders who have won, Mrs. Universe, Mrs. World, Mrs. America, Mrs. Serbia, all these countries. And these women are all helping elevate me. They're proud of me. They're cheering me on. And so, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And all my
Wow.
friends are title holders and winners.
Wow.
So,
Wow, that's a great insight. That's a great insight. I'm also already sure of one company which is very wholesome in your life, your husband. I always keep seeing him in your stories. He's rooting for you, he's supporting you, he's there for you. Throughout this journey, uh, how has been his contribution in you following your dreams and achieving them? He's also in the showbiz, if I'm right.
yes.
Yeah.
So my husband's name is Jamison Euler.
Jamison.
He's a news anchor for CBS.
Yeah.
He does the morning show.
Hmm.
So when I'll be really honest, when I first started out this pageant journey, he was trepidatious and unsure. He was like, I don't understand what this is. I don't understand what you get out of this.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you want to do this, I'll support you. And
Yeah.
like, we really didn't talk about it a lot. I remember we
Yeah.
were like sitting down one night and I was like, I still need to lose 60 pounds. I need a goal. I want to do a pageant. And he
Yeah.
was like, really? Okay. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, I signed up. And he's like, I guess we're doing this.
Hmm.
So when he came to Mrs. Florida, he like something switched it within him and he became such a big fan, such a big supporter. He really likes how the competition really like polishes and buffs you as a person. So, even if you don't win, you
Yeah.
learn so much. You become more articulate, you have more poise, you have more stage presence. Like there's no
Anything.
net negative.
Yeah.
And he has been such a big supporter. Now he is like the quintessential pageant husband. He's so into this. Like he's always coming to me being like, what do you think of a red gown? What do you think
Ah,
of this for your national
wow.
costume? Like he's so into it. And all the news media people in the area have started calling him Mr. USA, and he loves it. And he loves it so much. And he has been my biggest supporter. He has come to every pageant I have ever been a part of. And he is always right there, like at the
Yeah.
stage, and we laugh because he takes all these pictures and videos, and like when I come out on stage, he like starts filming the ground because he's like so excited. Like
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And so he has been my rock and my supporter. And he recognizes that this has been a big change for me because we've been married for 10 years. And so for the last more than 10 years, I have been the one in the background. When people see us, they see him, they recognize him from TV, they're so excited. They would say, can you take our picture? And, nobody was that interested in me. And now that I'm Mrs. USA, it's kind of changed and people go, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, USA, hey, can you take our picture? And he's so happy and supportive that like I'm having my moment. And
Yeah.
so it's been really incredible and really brought us closer together. Like
Yeah. It does.
pageantry takes teamwork. Like if you're
Hmm.
going to win a pageant, you have to have a supportive spouse. You have to have a great director, which I have in Rashmi. Rashmi Beatty of My Dream TV USA is my national director. And so she's helping me get prepared for Mrs. Universe. And, and then I have walking coaches and interview coaches and hair and makeup team. And you have these this community around you,
Yeah.
all supporting you and lifting you up. And so yes, he is my biggest cheerleader.
Awesome. More power to you and more power to him and more power to you both together. I also wanted to ask you, which takes me to my next question. Whenever a person, like for example, I am a journalist, I live in India and I meet a lot of people for interviews, but I also have a side hustle going, my passion project, which I'm very passionate about. If I have to ask you, Amber, what are those things which, other than the pageantry journey, and what are your interest lie what does your interest lie in which you are also working towards?
Yeah, I love the most beautiful part of pageantry for me is the community service, but my
Yeah.
mission and passion project is swim safety and drowning
Yes.
prevention. So
Yes.
I mentioned I live in Florida, which is a state, it's a peninsula. So it's surrounded by water on
Water.
all three
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah. I
We've
keep
even got
seeing
little
videos of
islands.
crocodiles and alligators everywhere. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. It's like a swamp.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, in Florida and in the United States, the number one preventable cause of death for children 5 and under is drowning. And
Oh.
so, as Mrs. Florida and now Mrs. USA, I worked to get a bill passed in Florida for free swim lessons for children
Wow.
under 5.
Wow.
And you can help. It's called SB 544, and it helps subsidize swim lessons for people who can't afford it because there should be no barrier between life-saving skills and learning how to swim. And
Yeah.
so as Mrs. USA and then hopefully Mrs. Universe, my mission is to get this on a global level, get people talking about it. It's crazy because it's preventable. You with through barriers and alarms and swim lessons,
Very
you
true.
can save lives. You can save your own life. I like to say that swimming should be every child's first sport because it's the only sport that can save your life. And the
Yeah.
reason I'm so passionate about this is because when I was 5 years old, my family and I went on a fishing trip, and my parents were getting the tackle box and everything out of the car. And like kids do, I ran off over the hill. They couldn't see me anymore. I ran down the pier and I fell into the lake and I couldn't swim. And thank God my brother, who was 6 years older than me, saw me, ran, almost 50 yards away
Yeah.
and was able to get me out. And I was revived and I lived. And unfortunately, that is not the normal ending to that story.
Yeah.
I've met so many parents in my advocacy work who, the dad was on a work call and the mom was making lunch and the 3-year-old snuck out, and everybody's looking around the house and they can't find the baby. And you look out, to the pool briefly and it looks flat and calm. You don't think anything. But my ardent, urgent message to people is if a child is lost, always look in all the bodies of water around you first.
Yeah.
Like, because seconds save lives. So my mission, and I could talk about it to you forever, is
Mhm.
swim safety, drowning prevention, swim lessons for children. Once they learn how to swim, your percentage of drowning goes down by 90%.
Yeah.
So just knowing how to swim, can make such a huge difference in a child's life. And, swim lessons can start as early as 1 year old. I think people think, oh, we have to wait till they're 5 or 6. No, they're interested in the water as soon as they can crawl.
For sure.
And you can start lessons then.
Yeah, that's so incredible. And I think it's very important because this is like a basic skill set. Like in India, teaching self-defense to girls is so important right from when they start schooling because, you're very right. And I hope your voice and your mission becomes very successful. Coming back to your motherhood journey, you are also a mother to two, if I'm right, two lovely kids. Um,
I have three. I
Oh, you
actually
have
have three
three.
kids.
You have three lovely kids. Yes. So, how are they doing? How they must be very proud children when they see you going out every
Yes.
day.
So my oldest, her name is McKenna. She's 8 now. She came when I won Mrs. Florida, and she was so happy. And
Yeah.
then Bellamy, my youngest, she's 5. She came just 2 weeks ago up to New Jersey when I won Mrs.
Oh.
Universe USA. And so the big joke is that we have to take Rhett, my 6-year-old, to the Philippines so that he can see me win Mrs. Universe.
Oh,
But
that's
they're
so.
very excited. They always ask, are we going to do pageant stuff? Are we going to do community service stuff? I like to do it as a family. I like for them to give back. They're always so excited when we go to events. They're always included. Last weekend we did the walk for Smile Like Aubrey, and they got
Mm,
to do the walk and do the bounce house. And that is a nonprofit organization for a family who lost their daughter Aubrey at 18 months old to a swimming
mm,
tragedy here in
mm.
Florida. And so they raise money for free swim lessons. And so they, they go, we, do those things together as a family, and they learn about, what I'm working on. And so it's been a very special time for us.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I wish you all the luck for the journey ahead. May you win. May you keep winning throughout in life, and may you also come to India someday and meet all of us.
That's my dream. I
Oh
want
wow!
to come to India so
Yeah.
bad. So yes, I have never been to India. I've been a lot of places all over the world, but India's on number one on my bucket list
Oh
right now. So
wow!
I think we need to make it happen this year.
For sure, we will be manifesting. Thank you, and it was lovely talking to you. I saw your story. You were waving in your iconic signature wave, and I would like you to do that to us.
All right, it goes shoulder, shoulder, wrist, 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 touch the pearls and blow a kiss.
Ah, lovely, lovely. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Amber.
Thank
It
you
was
so much.
so
Thank you
nice
so
talking
much.
to you.
Yes, have a great day.
You too, you too. All the luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.